On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk, 31 years old, conservative firebrand, co-founder of Turning Point USA, loyal soldier in Trump's cultural army, was shot dead mid-speech at Utah Valley University. It wasn't just an assassination. It was irony writing itself with a sniper rifle. Kirk had been debating gun violence when a bullet found his neck. Now, from an African lens, this story is almost too on brand. We are used to presidents dying abroad in luxury hospitals or funerals being delayed over witchcraft accusations. But America, their leaders die inside their own contradictions. Kirk, a man who once said gun deaths were a price worth paying for the Second Amendment, became the price himself. Africans watching from afar didn't need comedians to point it out. The irony announced itself before the body hit the ground. The facts are clear. The shooter was 200 yards away. The rifle steady, the motive still unknown. The gunman slipped away, feeding America's conspiracy machine for breakfast. Within hours, hashtags spilt like tectonic plates. Conservatives called it the work of radical left lunatics, as though bullets consult party manifestos before firing. Far-right agitators went further, whispering civil war prophecies. Democrats, meanwhile, sent condolences wrapped in gun control slogans, unable to resist pointing out that Kirk's death was precisely the nightmare that he mocked. The internet did what it does best. It dug up receipts. One clip spread like wildfire.
I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
2 years later, that line became his own epitaph. The memes wrote themselves. Screenshots, TikToks, dark jokes. Sympathy posts were drowned out by a chorus of "worth it" replies. Only in America does tragedy come with a viral punchline. And here's where the satire sadly deepens. In Africa, violence is usually framed as systemic failure, corrupt leaders, poverty, weak institutions. In America, violence is packaged as freedom. They have normalized mass shootings to the point where children practice active shooter drills between math lessons. Kirk built a career mocking those who wanted change, insisting that the Constitution's gun rights were sacred. His end proved that in America, sacred rights don't just protect life, they also escort death to the front row. Look at the reactions. Politicians falling over themselves to sound outraged while avoiding the elephant in the room. Conservatives said we must honor Charlie's legacy, without mentioning that his legacy was to insist that this kind of death was acceptable collateral damage. Liberals said we must pass reform, but offered no strategy beyond hashtags and emotional speeches. The FBI bragged about receiving 7,000 tips as though paperwork would stop the next bullet. They do have a video out, so we'll see how they do with that. Meanwhile, ordinary Americans stocked up on more guns for protection because apparently the cure for bullets is more bullets. From an African vantage point, the absurdity is glaring. Here, when a politician is killed, it's usually part of a coup or an assassination plot with clear goals: grab power, silence rivals, send a message. In America, it's chaos without ideology. A gunman pulls the trigger not to topple a government, but because guns are simply there, omnipresent, accessible like bottled water. It's not politics, it's availability. And yet they wrap it in patriotic language, insisting it's about freedom. But make no mistake, Kirk's death is not just an accident of timing. It is the mirror America avoids. His rhetoric legitimized violence as an unfortunate but tolerable side effect of liberty. That logic came full circle. A bullet answered his words more convincingly than any opponent ever could. And the saddest part, His wife and children watched. None of them deserved that trauma. Yet his supporters will still call it martyrdom, turning a moment of bitter irony into more fuel for division. This is where Africans shake their heads. In Zimbabwe, Mugabe's ghost still haunts because people can't agree whether he was hero or villain. In Zambia, Lungu's corpse is literally locked in court battles. But in America, a young activist's death doesn't unite or even paralyze. It multiplies division like a virus. Each side digs deeper trenches, convinced the other is celebrating or exploiting. There is no shared grief, only recycled rage.